Hello, welcome to a random episode of Real Boys. We're back from the Shadow Realm. What is a very...
This one's really just real hate. It was a movie so bad you had to shit on it.
A movie so bad that we had to bring Real Boys out of retirement just to talk about it.
Yeah.
We just saw Jurassic
horrific.
World Rebirth. Obviously Jurassic Park, a very near and dear franchise to me. Everyone already knows this. One of the most impactful franchises of my life. Everyone knows I like dinosaurs, blah, blah, blah. We already know all that. So obviously we went and saw Jurassic World Rebirth. We had to. It was kind of hailed as not a return to form.
A return to form?
I was going to say return to form.
Like
that's what they were kind of hailing it as, right? Basically like
a throwback to what it used to be.
Yeah, they were like, all right, yeah, we agree, guys. Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, they kind of sucked. But don't worry, this time we actually tried. We got Gareth Edwards on board. We've got Scarlett Johansson. We know what you guys like. We know what you guys love about Jurassic Park. We're bringing it all back. You'll get those same feelings that you got back then. Don't worry. And they actually, they enticed me back into the seat. Shame on me, yet again, for falling for these
Shame on
tricks.
all of us for going in and having a sold-out cinema for that one. That one hurt.
Yep, every single seat was filled. For the first time in a long time, I think. Even the F1 movie that we went and saw, I think there was still some vacant seats left over. And that one obviously also made a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Jurassic World Rebirth. My God, where do you even... A paper-thin story. Where do we begin on how bad that was?
Well, let's just start with the plot synopsis, hey? Let's just start to give people just a fundamental overview of the movie.
Yes.
This is basically a soft reboot in the sense that it still exists in the Jurassic World universe. All the plot points from the previous movies carry over, like Jurassic World was a thing. But it basically just picks a new point in time. I think it's like 17 years after, I think they say at the start, right?
Yeah, and 32 years since dinosaurs have returned, and all of a sudden no one gives a fuck.
Well,
dinosaurs suck.
They did that in the first Jurassic World movie, and this is a fucking plot point that they keep trying to hammer home, which has routinely made absolutely no sense to me of, we had to make the Indominus Rex because people were growing bored of dinosaurs. Like,
They're doing the dinosaur bad... phone good thing. People like phone. We all ADHD. Dinosaur not interesting. But come on.
I can usually suspend my disbelief enough to get through these fucking stupid movies, but just the single concept of people being bored of dinosaurs. You can't.
Zoos already sell out.
Yes, zoos still
People
exist.
are obsessed with trains and dinosaurs and just random autistic obsessions. People are going to sell out dinosaur zoos.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense that we bring back dinosaurs from the death, from extinction, from hundreds of millions of years ago, and within 20 years, people are bored of them and businesses can't, succeed at putting on dinosaur zoos.
How many dinosaurs could you bring back? Literally once a year, the zoo would just have to be like, hey, we're dropping a new dinosaur. And all of a sudden, everyone's interested
there's thousands of different types of dinosaurs. There are so many different genres of dinosaurs you could pull from. Even not dinosaurs, you could bring back like woolly mammoths and shit like that. You could constantly be bringing back new and exciting things.
The tie-ins there could be, there'd be dinosaur video games and movies everywhere. They'd be dropping new dinosaurs to tie in with the fucking prehistoric Avengers or whatever. It'd be insane.
Yeah, it's not something where 20 years would pass and like Timmy's like dinosaurs. That's so last year.
Whatever. Yeah. I've seen a T-Rex.
As if you take Timmy to a fucking zoo right now and he sees a rhinoceros, he's gonna fucking. It's going to make his year. He won't shut up about that for the next year. It's going to be...
And let's be honest, there would be absolutely dinosaur sports. There'd be racing. Maybe there'd be pit fights. I don't know. There'd be anything to keep people interested. They wouldn't lose interest.
They tried covering that in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Remember there was underworld dinosaur trading, which was also stupid. That's right.
The one thing that I thought was a plot hole, but now I realize it's because they're trying to say people are bored of it. They explain that there's this band around the equator that is similar to what the atmosphere and climate was like for dinosaurs, several hundred million years ago.
The only place they can survive, yeah.
Yeah, only place they can survive. And it's like, oh, all the governments have said you can't go to these islands in this area on the equator, and everyone listens and no one goes there. And I was like, that's stupid. Wouldn't there be like 1,000 people going every day just to see dinosaurs or to steal stuff? Like, surely that's just a dumbass plot hole.
I was also confused because the entire equatorial like band across the planet, did they just evict millions of people from those communities that existed in those
the world government came together and said, get fucked.
Like, you can't travel in this entire band. I think I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that it was just like random islands across those areas, maybe.
It was, like the isles and stuff. Sure, I don't know if they're real isles or not. I didn't.
But
Google
then
it
how did the dinosaurs? I know how dinosaurs got to the island that this movie takes place on, because it was again a Jurassic World research facility or whatever. But like other islands, how would dinosaurs have even gotten there?
I'm going to assume they just got dropped there.
Well, all right. So the entire premise of this movie, for people listening, because we're already going a bit haywire with talking about stuff. The premise is basically Scarlett Johansson is a like an ex-CIA mercenary or whatever. She's like a Splinter Cell Force agent.
We'll get to that in a second because what the fuck?
Yeah, but yeah, she's a mercenary. She's contracted by a big bad pharmaceutical company who's not known to be bad at the start, but obviously as the movie goes on, that's a whole thing. She gets hired by them to pull off this daring mission to an island filled with dinosaurs to take the DNA samples the blood samples of three dinosaurs.
The three biggest dinosaurs
that currently exist. The Mosasaurus.
One from the land, the air, and the ocean.
Yeah, for some reason. Like, okay. We'll talk about
like
that in a second.
It's such a World of Warcraft quest.
I know. Let me just give the fucking synopsis. So these three dinosaurs, they need to get the blood samples off the three dinosaurs on this island to cure heart disease. Mm-hmm. So that's why the medical company wants it. So then that's the thrust of the movie. That's the synopsis of the movie. That's how it starts. So yeah, the movie follows her basically putting together a team to go to the island to conduct that mission.
Her and Jonathan Bailey's character, who I'm not quite sure what his name was throughout the entire movie.
No. Comic side,
but he's like a paleontologist.
Yeah. Comic side relief romance paleontologist character.
Dude, the romance was weird.
Oh, it's so fucking weird. Okay, but yeah, so to lay the foundation of the setting, at the very beginning, they show the Jurassic World facility on this island as they're kind of exploring DNA mutations again. First of all, I'm so fucking sick of mutations.
I don't care about it.
These are no longer. I know the argument is always these were never dinosaur movies. They're obviously always mutant. They're always, real dinosaurs in real life had feathers or whatever. Blah blah blah. But they were clearly more like what we would think of as dinosaurs back in those first three movies: Jurassic Park 1, 2, and 3, and even Jurassic World. And then they, for some reason, started to fucking just, as a movie, start divulging into this mutant bullshit where they're talking about like the Indominus Rex, the Indoraptor. Now they've got the D-Rex and the Mutodons in this one. It is literally just I said to you, it's just Godzilla now. That's all it is.
It's just a kaiju film.
Yeah, it's just kaijus. And it's so boring because I don't have any kind of the same sense of awe and wonder at these giant things that used to exist on our planet.
Yeah, I don't get to soy jack and point to the screen and go, holy shit, it's an ankylosaur. That was my favorite.
Exactly. I don't get that.
Some vaguely grey looking dinosaur shaped beast that could appear in any monster film.
Exactly.
And you go, oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So this facility at the start was experimenting on creating these new mutants or whatever. They show them in here, and basically
they're like splicing
DNA.
Dinosaurs together to have like raptors with wings to keep people interested.
The ham-fisted explanations as well, even in that first scene, like when the camera's panning through the facility, and you can already tell that, like, because you have some fundamental knowledge of what the Jurassic World franchise is at this point, you can already tell what they're doing with the whole DNA splicing thing, whatever. But it pans through like past a computer screen or whatever, which just plainly says like DNA splicing in process or something. Like, come on, can you just give us the benefit of the doubt and at least treat us like we're humans and not absolutely brain dead idiots for 1 second?
You get to see like vats from Star Wars filled with like Bacta tanks and just fucking different mutants in there of just who fucking knows what kind of dinosaurs?
So
You can't even
boring.
tell what dinosaurs are spliced together. Everything's just vaguely raptorish with a million different limbs, except for the D-Rex, which is this incomprehensibly like kaiju-sized thing at a certain point. I don't know what it is. It's so stupid.
It's like, what did it look like? It looked like a giant ballsack head. It had like a fleshy head. It walked on 4 legs, but then it had 2 little protruding arms from the middle
like
of it.
it had like its tiny T-Rex arms, but then like massive brontosaurus legs around it.
Absolutely stupid design. It looked awful.
Yeah, and not to mention this thing was designed to go in the middle of Manhattan in a zoo. Like you built Godzilla to put in Manhattan, so little Timmy can come and eat his lollipop and look at it, and then the D-Rex can just eat him. This thing's never going to be contained in a zoo. You built God.
It's such a bad design for a Jurassic Park movie. It just looks like it looks like a monster. It looks like the Rancor from Star Wars a little bit. So
It looks like a Rancor and like a Xenomorph had a child.
Yeah. It looks like it's from a science fiction movie, which I guess you could argue Jurassic Park movies are now sci-fi. But regardless, like it looks so out of place and stupid. But anyway, this facility, they started this facility, a slow pan through the facility. This DNA splicing location that Jurassic World utilizes to create these abominations. And what follows is potentially the absolute worst plot contrivance I think I've ever seen for how a movie starts in my existence. So the way the D-Rex breaks out of the facility and like this island falls into disrepair is a Snicker bar, a Snicker wrapper from a bar flies off someone's, like he drops it on the floor and it flies into a little vent in a door. That's it.
Yeah. So there's established in the opening shots that there are like 12 different layers of security in this place on everything.
It's like a bank vault. You got to put 2 keys in at the same time and turn it
to open any door.
A single door.
Yeah, there's keys on both sides. They have to time it and twist it at the same time. And this dude's just running around with like a chocolate bar, throwing wrappers on the floor as if that's not going to...
Yeah.
The dude with the gun wouldn't immediately like check that the guy's not done that.
I mean, they're all wearing like containment suits, like the classic, CIA decontamination suits, like the giant things that they all wear to decontaminate themselves. If this was such a clean facility where that level of security was important, you think that this guy is just walking around eating a Snickers bar and is able to just litter, basically, just drop a candy wrapper on the floor? Like, it's so stupid. Yeah. Even just at that level, it's so stupid. But what follows is the most stupid fucking thing I think I've ever seen, where the wrapper flies into the door, sparks fly out of the door, and then the entire facility security system shuts down for some reason based off this one point of failure.
One door fails and the entire computer system is like, oh my God, what do I do? And then just shuts down. And then every single door opens, every containment is breached.
Every single door. The entire facility goes down from this one door breaking. Like, it makes no sense. That's how fucking stupid that the writers think the audience... Like, the level of how bad this writing is in this movie, it's like actual hatred of the audience, I think. Like, they actually think you are that stupid.
Zero trust.
Not just zero trust. I feel like they do it on purpose. You can't be this bad at writing.
Yeah, and then it tries to introduce the D-Rex by giving it like a Vader hallway scene from Rogue One.
God. Yeah, he like shows up in the distance as red lights flash for some reason.
Yeah, and then just eats the... I will say, genuinely, the best acting in this movie was from the dude who got eaten by the D-Rex in the first minute of the film. He had the best acting, and then from there, it just went downhill.
Have you watched the first Jurassic Park movie in a while?
I haven't seen it in a bit, no.
Okay.
I need to rewatch it.
Do you remember specifically the very beginning, the opening scene of Jurassic Park is very similar. Some would say this is an homage, maybe, perhaps, if they were actually brain dead. But they would, because it's the Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park movie opens with the Velociraptor being transported into its enclosure, and it breaks free. Well, not breaks free, but it kills someone in a kind of similar manner where they get dragged into the pen, basically, and get turned upside down. And just comparing that scene to this scene in my head, though, it's night and day. Like, the acting, it doesn't feel like it relies on contrivance to set up that scene. Like, it's pretty accurately portrayed from the very beginning of the first Jurassic Park in this scene that this creature is incredibly intelligent and dangerous. And it's through man's own hubris and stupidity that they put themselves in a situation in the first place. Understandable stupidity, by the way. Understandable. The entire scenario is understandable why the people there didn't believe that this could happen. It's not like a Snicker bar flies into some kind of, device and breaks down the enclosure or anything. They literally do not think that the dinosaur is intelligent enough to trick them into being in that position in the first place. So
yes,
it is incredible how it sets up how intelligent the Velociraptor is at the very start of the movie and how much we as an audience should fear this creature. And so it gives the entire movie from that point on this tension that persists throughout the entire movie, where anytime there's a Velociraptor on the screen, you feel scared because you don't know what that thing is able to do. What do I feel from watching Jurassic World Rebirth's opening scene?
Exhausted.
I feel like I want to kill myself because the D-Rex did nothing. What am I? I'm more scared of Snickers fucking rappers than I am the D-Rex in this scene. Like, what the fuck?
I think the best way to describe the opening scene, and especially after this, when like the facility shuts down and you're introduced to Scarlett Johansson's character, the best way to describe it is like you're sat with your parents watching like a movie you have no interest in, or you're sat like outside a changing room waiting for someone. You just like, you're looking around at everything except at the screen. You're checking your watch, you're looking at your phone, you just sat there going like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah,
it's just the worst.
Another 2 hour, 20-minute movie that did not need to be that long at all.
Yeah, we were trying to be silent, and then as soon as the Snickers bar went in the door, my girlfriend just started laughing. It was like, this is stupid.
Immediately, and that's the first scene. Again,
yeah,
I really want to highlight the difference between those two scenes because it is, again, night and day, just how absolutely bad the opening scene is of this movie. Like that, this is the entire first impression of the movie. It is meant to make you scared of the D-Rex, like you were scared of the Velociraptor in the original movie. You do not fear the D-Rex. You see it, it's stupid, and it does nothing in of its own volition to make itself threatening. It just kind of shows up and eats a dude that's trapped on the other side of a door. The D-Rex, the D-Rex didn't plan anything. The D-Rex didn't break the door down or anything or put himself in a situation where this happened. He literally just ate someone
that happened to be there.
Yeah, like, wow, I'm scared. I'm more scared of the Snickers wrapper in that situation. So it's just fundamentally bad writing. Very stupid way of starting the movie. But
yeah, and then
it doesn't get better.
Transition to 17 years later where we establish in the middle of Manhattan, traffic is stuck. There's was it a brontosaurus?
Dying apatosaurus.
Yeah, just fallen over. It's stopped traffic. There's like a sign for a T-Rex exhibit at the zoo that's being painted over because no one cares about dinosaurs
anymore.
And Mr. Pharmacy Man is, stuck in traffic. He gets out of the car to look around, and when he gets back in, all of a sudden Scarlett Johansson's mercenary character's there. And you get the most ham-fisted exposition dialogue where he tries to explain that she's like some terrifying black market mercenary with no legal or moral qualms about anything. She'll do anything, doesn't care as long as she gets paid. And the entire time Scarlett Johansson's character is sitting there going, nah, that's not me. They've got that wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's just trying to play up that she's nicer than she actually is, but really she's kind of evil, and we'll get into that later. They have no idea what they want to do with this character. They proceed to spend the rest of the entire movie with her going, no, I just want the money. I don't really care. But also she's this terrifying Black Ops mercenary with a heart of gold who wants to rescue everyone and cares for the kids and just, what? Pick a lane, lady.
Great. Just so fucking boring. All of the characters were so fucking boring. And like you said, all of the like character development or anything was just exposition. It was just told to you.
I think genuinely the only character I cared about, well, not cared about, but the only possible one was Jonathan Bailey's paleontologist, because he was the most realistic of like, he cared about the dinosaurs. He wanted to like actually go there and do the research. He was constantly in awe of the dinosaurs. Like he was the closest to an original Alan Grant Jurassic Park character.
Don't say that. Closest, yes, maybe, but not at all like Alan Grant. Like I was gonna say,
no. But what I'm trying to say is he's the closest we've got to like a character where you're like, okay, I get him. Everyone else sucks. I get him. I can root for him.
I get him, but at the same time, the way that the writing portrays him is so insufferably bad. Like, all right. So, for example, right, you get shown him immediately in a museum filled with dinosaur bones that are being packed up because the museum can't even afford to stay open for some reason. The dinosaur interest has like diminished so much that now even museums are closing down, like for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason,
Like-
the massive dinosaur
we
skeletons.
haven't in our real world had dinosaur museums open for like decades now. And if anything, they've only grown more popular over time. But regardless,
insane.
They're shutting down in this movie, and you're shown him immediately, and he basically just says all of his character development, all of his character traits and stuff, straight to the camera, basically. Like he's like, yeah, I'm a paleontologist. I love dinosaurs. I want to help dinosaurs. I'm so sad that everyone else doesn't like dinosaurs. I just want to see dinosaurs in the wild. That's why I'm going on this mission. Oh, this dangerous mission that's costing millions of dollars, and you get paid millions of dollars to do it. No, I don't want the money. I just want to hang out with dinosaurs, guys. Like he says it all up front, and then just he's in character for the rest of the movie. There's
pretty much.
There's no character development, no challenges thrown his way in terms of changing his personality, no moral dilemmas that he actually goes through, nothing. It's just a straight line throughout the entire movie, and his actions don't. You don't learn anything about him through his actions or anything other than what he said he is at the very beginning, or in the future what he says. It's all of it is just exposition, expository, told to the camera. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That's all you get from any of the characters.
Thankfully, he was so simple, and his desire was to see dinosaurs was so easily digestible compared to the rest that I liked him the most.
He
the rest
wasn't
was
as
just
insufferable.
horrific.
Sure. I mean, the comedy aspects with him were kind of insufferable. Like a lot of the scenes were undercut, as is Hollywood tradition. They were already bad scenes, but they were even further undercut because something traumatic happens, and then something funny happens as well. Isn't that
Something
funny?
funny.
Audience laugh, point and laugh.
It's just like a Marvel movie, guys.
Yeah, but the jokes are not funny either. They're just fucking stupid jokes, like offensively bad jokes. Like there's one scene where Scarlett Johansson's creeping up through tall grass through this giant meadow. They're hunting the largest sauropod, Titanosaurus, in the plains, and they're creeping up on it. They can't see it yet, and it's like a very close-up camera shot of Scarlett Johansson panning in on her very slowly, very ominously, almost like a jump scare is about to happen. But then pans left, and there's Jonathan Bailey. First she hears like a snapping noise of like a twig or something, jolting the audience. But then the camera turns left, and it's Jonathan Bailey eating fucking chewable tablets really loud or something.
Altoids.
Yeah, and he looks at the camera like, haha, isn't that funny, guys? Ha 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 ha. You were going to be scared by a dinosaur, but no, it's just Jonathan Bailey eating some tablets very loudly. Ha 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 ha. I fucking hate myself. Yeah. I hate myself for watching this movie. So bad.
I think immediately preceding that shitty joke was like the only good scene in the movie with Jonathan Bailey, like enjoying and watching the Titanosaur.
I think that was after that scene.
Herd. Yeah. He was watching the herd and like experiencing the joy of seeing like a herd of enormous dinosaurs while John Williams themes plays.
Again, it's just a lesser version of what I've already experienced in Jurassic Park 1, where Alan Grant sees the Brachiosaurus for the first time, which if you're a listener of the official podcast and stuff, you already know how formative and important that scene was to me as a person growing up. Like that started my obsession with dinosaurs. It's something I look back at very fondly. So every single time they try to replicate that, I roll my eyes because they do it in an inferior way, a more stupid way that has none of the majesty and impressive nature of what made that original scene so special. They've tried repeatedly over the previous few movies. In fact, in Fallen Kingdom, like I said on the recent official podcast episode, they literally try to recreate it, and then they kill the Brachiosaurus in the same scene to evoke some kind of emotion from you. It's just so pathetic. And this, again, that is probably, you're right, it is probably the best scene in the movie, but it's really not saying much because even that scene...
It's not saying much.
Even that scene was so Hollywood, for lack of a better word.
This movie is also attempting to be multiple movies at once.
Yeah.
The Scarlett Johansson and the scientists are not the only characters. There is a family of Mexicans, Hispanics who are out sailing across the ocean who get attacked by a mosasaur and then rescued on the boat of these mercenaries. And it's constantly, they're split up on this island and it's constantly jumping between Well, it looks like they were going for a different theme for each one, but they keep switching it. Like at one point, it's the mercenaries versus capitalism, and it's like just this family playing fucking like an alien movie where they're constantly on the run from dinosaurs, and it's like treated like they're xenomorphs. And then it jumps. It just jumps over to like the mercenaries playing as like colonial marines versus monsters, and then the family's just having a fun little comedy.
Yeah, it really did not feel necessary for that family to be in the movie at all. It seemed really like a really weird inclusion that added nothing.
No, and also the fucking boyfriend was like the most unlikable character ever.
Yeah, the boyfriend was, that's where all of the drama came from, that side of the family, or side of the movie. So it is split up into two. Like you said, it's like the alien colonial marines kind of action side, which is the mercenaries getting the blood from the three biggest dinosaurs, but then on the other side you got this family trying to survive on the island because they're both trying to get to the same point to be picked up by rescue helicopters, basically. And the family side is, I honestly can't remember anything that happened because I hated them and wanted them to die at every single turn because all of them were so fucking unlikable. And just not fun and not funny.
Yeah.
And so stupid. I didn't know anything about them. I can't remember their names. I can't remember any kind of character details.
I don't think they ever mentioned their names.
Dad had a broken leg, and the daughter's boyfriend was extremely unlikable. And there was a cutesy little girl sister character.
They try to give a baby Yoda in every single cinematic universe.
I'm so
except
sick
for this
of it.
time. This little 8-year-old picks up this tiny dinosaur, and it's meant to be cute. And my girlfriend leans over to me and just whispers, "That thing's fucking disgusting." They didn't nail it at all.
They didn't even make it cute. Like, it would have.
No.
I mean, to be fair, it's a dinosaur. It would have looked cartoonishly stupid if like some big doll-eyed, baby Yoda, actual baby Yoda style thing that was designed to be cute showed up. But even still, like, they tried to make this like a little dog, basically.
Also, just because it's entered my mind now, and because I want to remember how stupid this is before I forget it, at the start of the movie, they mentioned like dinosaurs cannot survive outside this area of the equator unless you're like in a zoo and they're constantly looked after. And at the end of the movie, this child just takes this dinosaur from the equator to go back home to fucking New York.
That cute little,
it's just gonna die.
That cute little
no
dinosaur is absolutely gonna die. That was just mean. She like kidnapped it from its family, probably on that island, its ecosystem or whatever, just so that Universal can sell cute little baby Dolores dolls. Coming to your Walmart right now. Pre-order now.
Pre-order now.
And it had that little baby dinosaur had no use in the movie at all. There was no need for its inclusion.
Throughout the entire movie, the child has been feeding this dinosaur candy. And I thought at the end, they're trapped behind this gate. And on the opposite side of the gate is like this big button that'll open it. And I thought finally the dinosaur's going to pay off. She's going to throw candy on the button. The dinosaur will run over and open it and save them from the one that's chasing them in the tunnels, and they can escape. No, that didn't happen at all. The child just like squeezes through the gate and goes and opens it herself. The dinosaur had no point for being there other than to be a toy.
Other than to sell merch. And also the dinosaur, it felt almost like those scenes with the dinosaur, like the baby dinosaur, were added in after the fact, because like there's a lot of scenes where the baby dinosaur just is not there, but then it'll show up later on in the journey. Like it's just teleported across
like halfway across the island. Yeah. They've traveled down river over valleys, and then the dinosaur Dolores just appears again.
Yeah. Okay. So remember, there's the stupid fucking. The worst scene in the movie was the scene with that family and the T-Rex in the river. The river, like.
Oh god, the river chase.
We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, that scene goes down, and they shoo off Dolores first, and Dolores runs away, and then they go on the riverboat journey, and this is like a giant day-long journey, sailing down a river in a little dinky boat to get to the middle of the island to get picked up by a helicopter. Like, it's a massive journey, something that's only possible by sailing on this boat, basically. Like, they themselves say that. But then once they get there, Dolores is there as well. Like, Dolores is fucking like 5-month-old. I don't know what it was, like a Protoceratops or something. I don't know what it was.
Protoceratops, yeah. It's just like it somehow has this enormous attachment to these people.
Proceratops. Is it Proceratosaurus?
Yeah.
No, not Proceratosaurus. What is it? Yeah, no, it is Protoceratops. That is the actual dinosaur. Could not remember its name for some reason. But yeah, Protoceratops. It was like this tiny little triceratops-looking dinosaur, ceratopsid, very small. Yeah, it could not have made that journey on its own realistically without.
No, not at all.
And it also
It'd have been
teleported. Yeah, and it teleported from across the fucking. Yeah, so I don't know. It really feels like that those scenes were added in post when a movie executive was like, "We need to sell more merch. Put a cute dinosaur companion in this. Reshoot it now. We need more cute dinosaur merch."
Speaking of teleporting, the message of the film teleported everywhere, because I was feeling this when I watched it and when I left it, but I wasn't sure how to put it. And then when I was reading other people's thoughts on it afterwards, I saw someone had left a comment that really highlighted it. At the start of the movie, it feels like Rupert Friend is talking to the audience, saying, "No one cares about dinosaurs anymore. That's why they were making mutants. Mutants are what people are here for. The audience loves mutants. Who the fuck? Which one of us loves mutants, dude? Who wakes up and goes, yeah, you know what? I liked the first Jurassic Park movie, but it's just a regular T-Rex, not a mutant, so I don't really care about it anymore." And then you've got like a whole speech from Jonathan Bailey going about how killing regular dinosaurs is bad and we need to preserve them. And then, the South African mercenary that has a total screen time of 30 seconds who's super all for killing dinosaurs gets 8 at the start of the film. So, you've got like your moral dilemma there of like, are mutants cool or regular dinosaurs cool? And then at any point, there's a mutant on screen. Scarlett Johansson just unlays bullets into its fucking skull. It doesn't know what it's trying to say. Are mutants cool? Do the executives think we like mutants, or do they think we hate mutants? What are you trying to do here? I think there was an interview
with one of the earlier movie producers on either Jurassic World or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, who basically said like, yeah, when we were making these movies, we really had to think about it, and we realized that movie audiences just don't like dinosaurs anymore. So that's why we introduced the genetic splicing element and stuff like that to make it more exciting. And I'm like, who the fuck are they polling for that? Who
are you polling?
There's not a single person.
Dinosaurs.
There's not a single person that I've talked to that has been like, yeah, the Jurassic Park movies, too much dinosaurs. What would have made them better as mutants?
What I needed in the first Jurassic Park was about 30 more minutes of people talking in rooms about random pointless bullshit that I have no emotional connection to. And then maybe a mutant or two. Where are they getting this idea that I hate like dinosaurs? I hate like superhero movies. I hate shit movies. It's not the genre. You're making a shit movie. It's why I'm not watching it.
Incredibly bad movie. All right, let's go talk about the fucking... So once the family gets on the island... they're traveling through it and they come across this river, basically. The dad's got a broken leg, so he can't do anything. But the elder sister, who's like, I don't know, 18 or whatever, the daughter, she's like, all right, I'll go across this river and get that boat. There's a boat over there and we can put it in the river and then float down to the place that we need to go to be picked up by the rescue helicopter. And they're like, yeah, okay, go do that quickly. We'll stand watch over here. She gets over there and immediately notices that there's a fucking sleeping Tyrannosaurus Rex right next to the little boat shed or whatever where the boat's being housed. And instead of doing what any sane person would do and immediately evacuating from that area, like if there was a tiger sleeping there or something, I would immediately evacuate from that area very slowly, trying not to draw attention to myself. She instead decides to go in there, drag the boat out very slowly, hit the inflate button, which causes it to explode very loudly so that it inflates. It's like an inflatable raft. And then proceeds to, continue on with the operation of getting in the boat and slowly paddling away from the now very awake and very angry T-Rex that is now running after them. It was the most mind-numbingly stupid scene I think I've ever witnessed in one of these movies.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And then also... What else stupid was in this movie? The villain in Rupert Friend, the med exec, was barely even a villain.
Yeah, he really wasn't.
Throughout the entire start of the film, he's expressly said he wants to do nothing but just use this stuff to cure heart disease. That's like his entire goal. Well, I'm putting a team together to cure heart disease.
He's a bad guy because he's a medicine company who will profit from it or whatever.
The only reason you're meant to hate him is because he's apparently part of a company. They give you like barely any reason to hate him except for like some random scene where this girl pushes him and then falls off the boat.
Yes.
And because he didn't save her in like 3 seconds.
He's the bad guy.
He's the most evil dude ever. And like, he straight up blankly, they try to scam him at the start of the movie and he's like, yeah, I'll pay double, whatever. As long as we get this done, like heart disease cure is worth it. I'll pay for anything you want. He offers whatever money. Obviously, he wants to make some money off it. I'm all for the evil companies. Fuck big corporations.
Yeah, but
or whatever.
actually make him evil. He doesn't really do anything.
Make him evil. This dude did nothing but say, I want to cure heart disease. And then when shit started to go crazy and he had all 3 blood samples, he's like, I'm going to try and get off the island. All of you are running around in circles, jerking each other off, doing random other shit. Like, what is happening?
It's so bad. The villain is not even... There is no real villain in the movie. Even the D-Rex is like, he shows up for 2 minutes at the start and then 10 minutes at the end. There's no, like when you think again of Jurassic Park, you got the Velociraptor, the T-Rex, and there's kind of these present threats throughout the entire movie where, you know, they're kind of interweaved throughout the entire events of the movie. Like you start off by seeing the Velociraptor at the start, killing those people. Then Alan Grant and the crew come across the Velociraptor paddock before the power goes out, and they have an entire scene where they like marvel at how much of a cunning and vicious and incredible predator this creature is. And you add in the fact that Alan Grant is also a paleontologist and has been studying the Velociraptor his entire life and knows exactly how they act and exactly how dangerous they are. Like you have this almost perfect movie villain in the Velociraptor. And the Tyrannosaurus Rex is also executed in a similar manner in Jurassic Park 1. Do you have anything like that in this movie?
No, not at all. They never hype up any of the monsters. You see the D-Rex once at the start, once at the end, where it ends in like the most anticlimactic ending you could.
But there's no concept of them either. Like
there's no concept of them. There's no dinosaurs in this movie. They talk about the idea of dinosaurs.
The characters don't know or have any kind of like concern about the D-Rex at all until they meet it in the final 10 minutes, and then that's it. That's not a villain. That's just... You just made some movie monster show up for like 10 minutes. I don't care.
It's never mentioned. They never mention the D-Rex. They never find like abandoned notes in a facility where you can play out like some horror thing where they're like, oh shit, like we're not alone on this island with just dinosaurs. Like there's something scary out there.
Yeah.
Like the village is no longer safe because it's the home of some apex predator. Like there's no... You could have done a scene where like... Okay, also... I've immediately in my head, in 3 seconds, come up with an idea to make this movie better. I'm sorry, but it would have been better this way. There are no dinosaurs in this movie. If you have the entire island populated with dinosaurs and they're just like struggling to get through any tall grass without running into a dinosaur, and then all of a sudden they come to the village where they finally feel like they can escape and contact the helicopter and there's 0 dinosaurs and it's scary and empty because the D-Rex is there, you've immediately established that the thing is scary and it's like there. They don't do anything with it at all.
They kind of do something similar to that in Jurassic Park 3, which I think is underrated. In Jurassic Park 3, like they said at the very start, you know, all of the herbivores, I think, all of the dinosaurs seem to be, you know, consolidated to this one area of the park for some reason, or the island for some reason. It's very strange. And then when they get to the island, they discover that the reason for that is due to the fact that there is this apex predator in the Spinosaurus in that movie that dominates this part of the island where no dinosaurs will go to because it's so, you know, so dangerous and threatening. And I thought that was a really cool way. So yeah, I mean, that would have been cool. But in general, it would have been like any threats in this movie, like the dinosaurs or the mutants, they only ever show up when they're about to kill someone, like, or when there's an action scene. That's it. And then they disappear and they're not heard of ever again.
I love an isle. Like in general, an isle as a setting, I love it. It's really cool. You can do some cool visuals. You can do a lot of stuff. I was really hoping they could have just filled different sections of the isle and its islands with different dinosaurs and like the World of Warcraft quest to go through and collect like one blood sample from everything. Like
so stupid.
They could have gone through different parts of like the ocean dealing with different ocean dinosaurs before they get to the boss. But the mosasaur is the first dinosaur they meet immediately. They could have gone through like different like islands to meet the Titanosaur, and throughout those islands you have like different pockets of dinosaurs. You could have had like an entire like RPG zones of like quests and dinosaurs they go through, and then the end game boss is just empty and the D-Rex is there, but they don't do anything. They just show off like 3 dinosaurs,
Wow,
maybe
actually,
a few
yeah.
mutants.
Now that I'm thinking about it, there were no dinosaurs outside of those 3 basically that you see in those giant set pieces.
Yeah,
I don't think
they
there were any.
used all the
There was
CGI on that. There's like
an ankylosaurus
none.
at the end, which kind of like comes out of nowhere and bumps the jeep.
appeared
off
for
the
half a
end.
second.
That might be
Yeah,
it. There's
and some-
Compsognathus, when the guy
Yeah,
fell off the
and
cliff.
some fucking what's it called? Like mud skipper, fucking dinosaur
the
that just kept
Metrodon,
appearing.
Metrodon.
Yeah, the Metrodon just kept appearing randomly, as if like you're meant to soy jack at the screen and go, "Holy shit, it's here!"
Yeah, but like no dinosaurs. There were more mutants.
Dude, sending mercenaries to a massive isle where they should go on some like RPG fetch quest through different level zones to get all this shit and then extract could have been so good.
I still take
but it did
issue
nothing.
with the entire premise of the story revolving around the fact that we need blood from these 3 large dinosaurs to make heart disease medication.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
again,
know.
I can,
It
suspend,
could've,
I can
like,
suspend my disbelief again, but that is such a fucking stupid plot. contrivance.
It's so stupid, and I wouldn't have forgiven it, but I could have like put it to the side if they'd done something cooler with it. But they didn't. They didn't do anything. They show up, immediately find every blood sample they need to do, and then fuck around in the jungle for 5 minutes while some random characters who you know are gonna die in ways you don't care about. And then they run into the D-Rex and leave.
They use the idea that because of obviously like heart disease, they want blood from specimens with giant hearts because they say they live the longest or whatever, which is why we got to get one from the. They don't explain why we need one from the land, the sea, and the sky. That was fucking stupid. I don't understand that. But yeah, they say that we need the largest of those 3 categories to formulate the drug. But the blue whale is larger than any of them, so I don't necessarily understand why we need dinosaurs.
Fuck the whale.
And also, they're not even, as we've established, they're not even natural animals. They are gene-spliced creations of what researchers approximate dinosaurs would have been. So, like they say in the first Jurassic Park movie, like we've taken DNA from mosquitoes in fossilized amber and combined them with frog DNA to approximate what dinosaurs would have been. So they're not even dinosaurs. So at that point, you're taking blood from creatures that you have created. So you already have the DNA genetic compiled information about these creatures if you're able to create them from scratch. You have all of that information, so I don't even know why you need the blood in the first place. You could genetically create the information, I'm sure. Like, if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the entire films of Jurassic World are dead on arrival when their consistent beat home premise is that no one cares about dinosaurs and they consistently make the movies billions of dollars in general.
Again, how do you... Even if you go into this movie, like making a movie like this, and you're like, whatever we do, it's going to make $1 billion, whatever. So, but even in that situation, like, I feel like I would still at least want to make it make sense as a creator.
I don't know. The start of the film, I think, pretty much laid out Scarlett Johansson in real life. It's how she got involved in the film because her character's like, "No, I don't want to do the job," and then the guy's like, "What if I gave you $10 billion?" And she's like, "Okay," and that's probably what happened to Scarlett Johansson because she's now the highest grossing actor of all time.
She sucked
because of this movie.
She fucking sucked in this movie.
Yeah,
They
oh my
all
god,
did.
she was bad.
I'm just thinking about how much better Alan Grant was as a character in the first movie. How, like, you're not told. It never the movie doesn't start with him being like pointing at the camera or some character coming in and talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, well, man, I just hate kids so much. I hate kids. I would rather just play around with dinosaur fossils all day. That's me. I hate kids." And then the other character's like, "Yeah, you sure do hate kids, Alan Grant." No, you're shown it through his actions throughout the movie how uncomfortable he is with the 2 grandchildren, Tim and forget the girl's name, but Tim and the girl. Like how uncomfortable he is with them, and how over the movie he changes. He comes across these hurdles, he fights them, and he changes as a character to then love those kids throughout the movie and want to protect them. In this, the example is they ape it actually, but to a much worse degree. Like the black guy in this movie, the who is it?
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, he's like a mercenary friend of Scarlett Johansson. He's also on the mission. You Scarlett Johansson asks, basically point blank says, "Oh, so how are you dealing with your dead kid's loss? Are you doing better after that? Now that your dead kids?"
Yeah, you and the wife get back together after your kid died, and he's like, "No,
literally just
not at all."
Literally just says that. Just sits down and is like, "Oh, so you got a dead kid, huh? That must suck." Like straight up. That's again exposition. It's so stupid. And then he looks at a photo of his dead kid and he's like, "Oh, I'm sad now." But then the rest of the movie is just him going, "I'll protect these new Mexican kids with my whole life."
Oh my god!
And that's his entire character. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. You could have done it. You could have done it so much better. You should, like, even if you just remove the Scarlett Johansson scene and you see him, you first see him care about those the kids in this movie to an insane degree or whatever. Like, he goes out of his way to protect them, and you're like, "Huh, I wonder why he's got that character trait." And then maybe like, it's tastefully done where like he drops a picture of his son or something, and then he picks it up and looks at it. He's a little sad and stuff, and then tucks it away. No, he doesn't even say to the camera like, "Oh yeah, it's my dead kid" or whatever. But you kind of get your feeling just through watching the movie. I know that's a very strange fucking concept to like glean information from actually watching the movie. But yeah, like if you just conveyed it that way, it would have been way more effective and way more interesting.
The entire movie, every single character is basically like, there's nothing written about Mahershala Ali's character. You just look at him and you're meant to like him because Mahershala Ali is a charismatic and likable actor. You're meant to like Jonathan Bailey's character because Jonathan Bailey is a likable, hot guy. Like that's it. There's nothing written about these characters.
It's so Hollywood and just dumb.
No. I didn't know Mahershala was in the movie, so when he first showed up, I was like, "Oh, like fuck yes, dude! I love this guy. They'll maybe be a good character." And then his entire character is just that Mahershala is there in the movie.
I mean, the moral dilemmas in the movie itself are so stupid as well. Like when you think about whenever they try to add conflicts in the movie, it is the most either juvenile, stupid fucking shit, or it's like it's just morally inconsequential. Really, when you think about it,
no one had a problem with the chemical fucking exec until a random point Jonathan Bailey's like, "Fuck this guy. We should screw him over. We should just not give it to him, and we should open source this stuff." At no point had he ever expressed that he'd like price out the entire world and make like each heart disease pill like $3,000 or anything. He's dropping insane amounts of money on this thing. They never talk to him about it. It never establishes that he's like, "Yes, I'm spending all this money so that I can get money back just from the rich only. The poor can't afford this."
It's just such it's a juvenile moral dilemma. It is literally boiled down to get $10 million or save heart disease for everyone on the planet or whatever. That's not interesting.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Or again, like inconsequential with no, like there were dilemmas throughout the movie that were just so inconsequential. Like there was an entire scene during the Mosasaurus fight or whatever, the Mosasaurus scene, where they're debating whether or not to go pick up the stranded family because they were capsized and calling out for help. And they're like, "Well, the boat's in the other direction. We'll have to turn around and go pick them up, and then we might lose the signal of the Mosasaurus. Or, sorry, no, it might take an extra hour to get to the Mosasaurus." So the dilemma was like, what was it? Like, go to the island now or, wait a few hours to get to the island? That's the whole moral dilemma there.
Yeah, it was. They have a tracker on the Mosasaur,
it's like nothing.
And they're like,
it's so
"Do we either
inconsequential.
rescue this family and like, I don't know, come back to the Mosasaur in 3 hours, or get the Mosasaur now?"
So inconsequential. Like, obviously.
What do you mean?
Obviously, you go pick up the family. That's not a dilemma.
The entire dilemma was like, should I fucking go pick up my kids from school and then get pizza, or should I go to the fucking pizza store and then go get the kids?
Yeah, well,
like there's zero
really
dilemma happening.
Really fucking interesting, guys.
What? It's so stupid.
It's so bad. So yeah, no more dilemmas. The writing was awful. What else is there? Let's talk about the deaths for a second. Every single death was fucking stupid. This is a continuing theme of this movie, talking about how every facet was stupid. But there was one scene in particular that I just could not believe that they had the balls to include in how fucking stupid it was. So this entire mercenary group, the main mercenary group, they get chased by the Mosasaurus, who is collaborating with the Spinosaurus to hunt as a pack for some reason. So they're chasing the animals are chasing the boat, and it capsizes and sinks on the island. Or the mercenary group gets to the beach and they like evacuate the boat, and they're like dragging all of their equipment off the beach.
Yep. previously to this scene, the South African mercenary got ate by like the mosasaur or spinosaur or some shit, just randomly. He like existed for like 20 seconds and then got ate.
Yeah, he literally went outside the cabin of the ship and started shooting around wildly, and the Spinosaurus jumped up and just grabbed him off the side of the boat. It was literally like something I would expect to see from like Sharknado or something, where they're like, oh, we have to have a character death now. Let's do something stupid. Anyway,
yeah, it's been enough mandated time. We've got to kill someone.
No tension, no stakes, nothing. It's like, oh, he's dead, whatever. So the boat crash lands. They're dragging all their equipment out of the water. There's one girl on her own for some reason. Like she's separated from the group. She's dragging up the stuff on her own. Now, I want you to put yourself in her shoes, okay? You've just survived this traumatic experience where these dinosaurs were in the fucking water and ocean, killing people, and you know, you're trying to escape from them. Where do you position yourself? Do you A, get as far away from the water as possible, as quickly as possible, or B, do you put your back to the water and get as close to the water as possible?
You clearly choose B because that's what she did. She stood in the water and just slowly tried to push shit onto the beach.
As her back the whole time she's to the water, shit. As her back is turned to the water where the animals that were trying to kill her just mere seconds ago were, and surprise, surprise, what jumps out of the water and grabs her? Oh my God, a Spinosaurus.
No, you know what's even more criminal is that it doesn't jump out of the water. The Spinosaurus is literally sitting 3 meters to her left. It's this massive thing. It's not even camouflage. It's just sitting there, and you can see it. And then it gets up, not stealthily, it gets up, steps into the water loudly, again, not stealthily, circles around for a minute loudly, and then comes up and grabs her from behind. And that's not the only time this happens in the movie. Every single time a dinosaur is introduced behind someone, which is like, I don't know, 3 times, because the dinosaur movie fucking hates having dinosaurs in it, they appear behind him, do shit super loudly, and no one listens.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex again in that river scene, like when there's another like shot where she inflates the portable raft, it like blows up and fills the entire screen, and then when the boat falls down, the T-Rex that was behind the boat in the first place is now disappeared. Like it's some fucking dinosaur magic trick. He's like, David,
it's gone under the water. Her family to her left would have seen it's gone under the water.
Well, seen where it's gone in general, but because they're trying to pull off like a David Blaine Copperfield kind of magic trick for some reason. Like you would have heard it fucking move. It's a T-Rex. Like the entire
It's a T-Rex. You're going to hear it get in the water. I hear fucking
from the very first movie is you can hear it coming. It's very loud. It steps fucking cause little micro earthquakes that like, you know, shake the water in people's cups. You would hear it move.
I hear a fucking like when Nestor's cat accidentally steps in some water, I can hear it. I'm going to hear a T-Rex.
It's so fucking stupid, and they think you're stupid, and we are stupid because we went and saw it. Oh,
I think the most excited Ella was throughout that movie was when she thought the 6-year-old child actually got ate by the dinosaur.
We'd be so happy.
She was like, "Oh my God, thank God someone died to this thing." But no, then the kid lives.
I wanted everyone to die. Oh my God. There was another scene. So I went to the toilet when they were going after the third dinosaur, which was a Quetzalcoatl, which is the largest avian air dinosaur, whatever you want to call them, pterosaur. Because fun fact, pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs. In fact, they are a different subspecies or, you know, classification. Anyway, so yeah, they're going after that dinosaur, and I went to the toilet when they're like climbing through a rock, a mountain or whatever. I went to the toilet. I came back and they're literally in ancient ruins, and I'm like, what the fuck have I walked in on? Like they're in ancient ruins. Is this some ancient dinosaur worshipping ruins or something? What the fuck is this? This is now like a Tomb Raider movie.
Oh yeah, it became Tomb Raider all of a sudden.
Like what? Now where there's ancient ruins in this mountain that the dinosaur lives in for some reason. What? Like it was such a fucking mind snap. I was like, what am I watching? It felt like it was made by a child/AI combination.
I don't know. I don't know. This movie at time feels like Gareth Edwards wanted to have a movie about like a father and his daughters and this boyfriend he doesn't like gets stuck on Dinosaur Island or whatever. And then some producers like, holy shit, we need mercenary ScarJo, we need mutant dinosaurs, we need Jonathan Bailey, we need an executive as the villain. This movie didn't need a villain. Like it could have just been a cure to heart disease. It could have been anything. Anything except what it
It is
was.
a villain, but it's. I mean, if they attempted to give it a villain, again, it doesn't have a villain. Currently, it does not have a villain.
I don't know. The villain again could have been the D-Rex. It could have been any form of dinosaur that was in there.
The D-Rex scaling was so bad. I think I said this to you after the movie. I could not tell how large it was ever because in one scene, it's big enough to grab a helicopter out of the sky with its mouth and bite it in half.
Yeah, in one scene, it steps through this smoke and is genuinely Godzilla-sized. And then 30 seconds later, it's
like barely bigger than a T-Rex.
Half the size of a T-Rex. Yeah.
Like it eats a guy and the entire body of the guy fits pretty snugly into the D-Rex's mouth with his legs dangling out to give us kind of idea of how large the mouth was. That same mouth in 5 minutes before that bit a helicopter in half. So I do not know how the scaling worked at all.
If you have seen the trailer for this film, you've seen the film. And that's about it.
Such a bad
Like
movie.
nothing happens in there except they might have put, I don't know, raptors in the trailer and then replaced it with mutants in the actual film.
Yeah, no raptors in this movie. In fact, the raptor shot for 2 seconds and then get killed by a mutant. So whatever. I mean, I'm not a fan of fan service anyway. So if they would have done the raptors or velociraptors no justice anyway when they did show up. So I don't really care about them doing things for fan service sake. But if you're not going to do that, you've got to at least replace the movie with a good movie, and they failed.
Also, going back to the beginning where the Snickers bar like broke this thing, and you're thinking, how stupid can this be? Like, surely this island has a million bits of protection, and also this highlights how like dumb and incomprehensible the scaling of this island is. They're in the village. In what is like a, they're trying to recreate the first Jurassic Park where the kids are hiding in the kitchen and the kids are hiding in like a candy store, convenience store at some fuel station. And then they split up, and while the kids are hiding in the fuel station, the mercenaries run maybe 3 meters down the road from this fuel station, enter a random door, and through the first door, it's just a regular door. There's this lab filled with all the mutant
the same.
Dinosaur.
I think that was the same lab as the first scene. Like that.
Yes,
same
it
room.
was. It was. So there's like zero layout to this at all. There's just some candy store and fuel station full of lollies right next to where you have the fucking D-Rex.
That entire scene was so weird when they first get to the village and they're hunting, like the two groups are hunting for each other. They find each other immediately somehow. And then like all the power in the facility turns on and like Stand By Me starts playing.
I love the implication that every single night the dinosaurs are serenaded by Stand By Me when the power turns on.
I couldn't tell if they could hear that through the speakers or if we, the audience, were meant to hear that. Either way, that's like a giant.
Yeah, it was
pet
the
peeve.
speakers.
That takes me out of
the
movies.
dinosaurs just hear it every time.
That takes me out of movies so hard when they play those. Like I'm fine with it in like dumb action movies and stuff, but when I actually want to get immersed into a film and then some like classic remix plays, it's like, all right, well, I'm gone.
Yeah. Also, going back to if you've seen the trailer versus if you've seen the movie, correct me if I'm wrong, like in a comment or something, but I believe I hadn't seen the trailer until after the movie. But in the movie, the farmer exec says the island was a research facility for the new Jurassic World, and they're trying to make the new mutant attractions. But then in the trailer, Scarlett Johansson is like, this is the original research facility for the original Jurassic Park, and the worst of the worst dinosaurs were locked up and kept here. So like, which is it? You've changed the story completely.
There's no point in trying to follow
the lore in the story.
There's no point trying to follow the lore or anything. They don't know what they want to do with this franchise other than make.
I'm not tired of
dinosaurs.
I'm tired of you. Executives, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of what you're trying to do.
The Jurassic Park franchise, it's a miracle. Well, not a miracle. It's a curse that it's gone on this long. There have been 3 good movies from 7. And 2 of those are debatable whether or not they're good. Like Jurassic Park 1, obviously GOAT status, like one of the best movies ever made. So, full credit there. Jurassic Park 2 sucks. Jurassic Park 3, people think it sucks, but I think it's actually pretty good. So I'm going to say that one's good. Jurassic World, again, debatable, but I think it was decent enough. Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom, awful. Jurassic Park, Dominion, awful. And Jurassic World Rebirth now, awful, might be the worst of them.
Yeah, fuck me.
I don't know.
Dominion was so bad it was a little enjoyable.
No,
I just hated
Dominion was boring. And Fallen Kingdom was the one where it was so bad that it actually circled around to kind of being good, in that It was like a good bad
Right.
movie where I was like, oh my, I can't believe the plot is this stupid.
I haven't seen Fallen Kingdom, but I remember I walked in and watched Dominion before a shift one time, and I was like, I was watching it with another dude that worked there, and we were both laughing the whole time. So I feel like if I'd watched Fallen Kingdom, maybe I would have hated Dominion more.
I just don't know who these movies are made for.
I don't know who they're made for at all. They were so bad.
I feel like they might be made for Sonic fans because I've noticed there is a overlap between Sonic audience and dinosaur fans.
These movies are made for licenses. It's made so they don't lose the license to the franchise. There's no love behind it. It's just to keep it so they can keep making money.
Maybe. I don't know. It's no point.
I genuinely want to know what Spielberg's genuine behind closed door thoughts are on these.
I don't think he's watched any of them.
Yeah, true.
It's actually, that's another point I did want to touch on the music is the overuse of the Jurassic Park theme by John Williams, obviously. The
Completely unearned. It's the same as just playing the Star Wars theme like randomly to be like, hey, you guys remember this?
I don't think I'll ever forgive them for ruining it.
No.
It's
No,
so sad.
not at all.
It plays in every third scene in this movie in the background, like what we're seeing on the screen is meant to be that emotionally resonant. Like, again, this is the theme. This is like the theme that plays when you first see dinosaurs in Jurassic Park 1. It's that impactful. It's incredible. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. The music's swelling. This is beautiful. And in this scene, in this movie, it plays when Scarlett Johansson and the nerdy guy are talking about her PTSD on the back of a ship with no dinosaurs.
Yeah, like it has nothing to do with anything. And then they just throw it in randomly when they see the Titanosaurs. And you're like, well, that felt unearned.
Well, because it had already been played four times by that point. Again, it plays when they're fucking just talking on the back of a boat.
I just...
It is so...
Why?
I don't understand. The scene would have been made better with silence. You're ruining the song and you're ruining the scene.
They can't ever let there be silence. Also, the coloring sucked. Everything
sucked.
I hated it.
I'm
It
done.
sucked.
I'm done. I've exhausted everything.
I
want to talk
saw
about.
someone else say that this being a love letter to fans is the most realistic thing they could have said because, like every love letter you normally write, it backfires.
I think my partner or my fiance Kira said it best. I think she said, "Make sure you tell them that this movie was a Shitosaurus Rex." So that one's
Yes.
from her.
Yes.
She was not happy that I made her go watch that last night.
Yeah, why'd you make her watch that?
I don't know. If I had to suffer, so did she.
I left that thinking, I need to stop watching shit movies with Jackson.
Yeah, can you stop taking me to shit movies, please?
I don't know. We can do Superman next.
I don't want. I want good movies, not good mainstream blockbusters are still hardly ever good. They're just passable.
I don't know. I'm excited for Weapons. That might be good.
Yeah, I've spoiled myself. I read the script. It sounds good.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Well, we can watch
yeah,
that.
I'm interested in that.
And maybe The Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Odyssey. Anyway, that's going to do it for this impromptu episode of Real Boys. No real idea if Real Boys this will be back in any kind of capacity, but we really just wanted to talk about
Real
this.
hate. We just had to shit on it. We just had to shit on it.
It was bad. Really wanted to get my thoughts out about it in a...
If only Jordan was there
Structure.
to hate on it as well.
Yeah.
Could have been another real regret.
Yeah, this was a real regret.
This was a real regret.
I really regret it. If you are on the fence and you're seeing like all the anyone hyping this movie up and being like it's a return to form or anything, I don't think that's the case. I think it's like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I don't know if anyone is out there hyping it up, but I was like, yeah, I mean, it could,
The general
could be good.
vibe I've seen is, at least it's better than Dominion.
I don't think it was better
Fallen
than those
Kingdom.
movies. I really think it was just as bad, if not maybe worse. But I don't know. It's bad. It's not good movie. It sucked ass.
It's not good at all.
There was no redeemable factor to it. I think it was absolutely one of the worst movies I think I've seen in a long time. Not a fan. That's going to do it for me. I'm giving it a 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5 is very generous.
Yeah. What would you give it?
I would say it's unrateable. Don't go watch it. It's horrible. It's just written by AI.
Yeah. So I would rather have done anything else with those 2.5 hours that I spent watching that movie. Not to mention the fucking price of tickets these days. All right. That's going to do it. We'll see you next time if another bad movie comes out that we feel like
If another
ranting about.
bad movie comes out, so we can warn you.
All right. Stay safe. Don't buy a
Bye.
ticket. Bye.
Don't do it.